Rocco is a more. It's funny because we were just talking about this today in our big wide right group chat or whatever. Is like I believe by the end of by maybe even by midseason, but by the end of the season, I think the Rocco over Brock Purdy conversations will gain like quite a lot of heat. And especially if Rocco wins a Big 12 title, then he's gone. But just based on like a body of work and the pace he's at right now, as far as not just productivity, but as far as his team winning and the way they're winning.
How many Big 12 titles did Brock Purdy win?
0. That's what I'm saying.
0, and he never won a Cy-Hawk game. So how could those conversations not be happening now?
They are happening now. They are happening now.
I'm saying. I don't know how
they are happening now. The tricky part, though, well, I mean, one, because when you're talking about individual football players, you have to look at what they did and also what the team did. Now, the quarterback, you're going to tie more to team success than other positions, but you still have to look at Brock Purdy was still the most prolific player in Iowa State ever. You can't, there's no denying that. He left like 36 school records or something like that, something dumb. But Rocco has been knocking him off the checklist. And right now, Rocco is on pace to pass Brock by the end of the season in terms of like the GOAT conversation. Because he just is good. He's good at he doesn't have any major weaknesses in his game. He's a tough runner. He's a good leader. He's a good thrower. He throws a great deep ball. There at times last year he got a little interception prone, but most of that was trying to do too much at certain times.
So how does he attack Iowa's DBs? Because you understand that Iowa's corners have proven at times to be a little susceptible, even last year without Jamari. So, Phil Parker knows exactly all about. He knows that not just from the Michigan State game, but from the Iowa State game, because that's why they lost down the stretch. They had that game in hand, and they gave up a couple of big pass plays, and that was it.
So if I'm Phil Parker this week, the Iowa State passing game is a very interesting challenge for me to deal with, because while you don't see like the ultra high-end Biletnikoff type receivers like you did last year with Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll. You don't have that. But Iowa State has – the passing game has been a fascinating thing to watch, because Iowa State is right now doing things with the tight end position that even Iowa has not really done. Through both games, we've seen 14 personnel. We've seen a heavy dose of 13. So what they're doing a lot of times – we saw this against Kansas State. We've seen it against South Dakota. What they're doing is a great example of this. They have a sequence that they'll go back and forth between how they want to run this. But basically, they'll come out in 14 personnel. So it'll be Ben Bramer, Gabe Burkle, Tyler Moore, and Cooper Alexander, all of them on the field, or it could be Keaton Roscoff in place of one of them. If they're they'll start out in a heavy package, basically everybody tight, and then they will motion out and go to empty. They'll go to empty 5 wide with a running back and 4 tight ends. They'll check their matchups. If the defense has expanded to meet those and to cover guys one-on-one and to bracket that coverage, they're happy to run QB power with Rocco, who's a very good runner. But what they did against South Dakota, and unfortunately some poor bastard kept getting matched up on Ben Bramer.
Wait, who was it? What was it? Who was he?
What?
You said someone kept getting matched
up?
Oh,
so some poor bastard kept getting matched up on Ben Bramer. It was a corner. There was some poor corner kept getting matched up on Ben Bramer, who was routinely given one-on-one coverage with a 6-foot corner who was pretty regularly 7 inches short and 2 steps behind. And it just was it's just a matchup issue. And then there was other times in the game they start empty in 14 personnel and come into heavy and then run some sort of like a sweep or whatever it is, and use all of that size advantage to plow through. So if you're Phil Parker, right now you are having to game plan 13 and 14 personnel, where you're having to figure out what you're going to do when Ben Bramer and Gabe Burkle at 6'7" and 6'6" end up matched up on your corners. You have to figure out how you're going to defend that. And that's a huge advantage for Iowa State, because Ben Bramer and Gabe Burkle are very, very good tight ends. Ben Bramer right now is better than Charlie Kohler ever was.
Who's the biggest? When I've watched Iowa State here these first 2 weeks, is it Skildson? Is that how I'm pronouncing? Am I pronouncing it?
Yeah, number 9. Skildson, the receiver.
He seems to be the best deep threat. Am I fair in saying that?
It's kind of funny because right now through the first 2 games he has been the best deep threat, but I would not put him necessarily in terms of ability. I would not necessarily put him ahead of Dominic Overby, who caught the first touchdown against Kansas State, the nice little ball over the top. they're both. I mean, Dom Overby is like 6'5". He ran a sub 1100 in high school. He's a deep threat. He did not do much last week. He wasn't asked to do a lot.
To say he didn't have a catch.
Yeah, he really didn't play much at all last week because Rocco went 19 of 20, and I believe 18 of those targets went to tight ends.
Well, Skildson's average last week was 39.
Yeah.
And the week before, what was the week before? His average was
20 something probably.
Yeah, against Kansas State, it was 15. But,
15,
and,
yeah. They've been perfectly happy to throw him deep balls. It's funny because Iowa State's first passing play of the game went for about 20 more yards than Iowa's total passing game against Albany.